What's up, family? I'm making this video to let you know to always stick to your guns. Stick to your values, hold them in high regard. Have principles, and your principles are for you. And don't bend them or break them for anybody. Um, I remember a case years ago. I was working at a job. I've had many different types of jobs, everything in customer service and sales and that nature. But I'm working at this job, and one of the very young employees posed a question to another employee, asking him, would he go down on a man for $100 million? And the employee asked the young employee, would you do it? And the young employee said, hell yeah, 100 million? I'll do whatever I need to do for 100 million. So I really not hearing this. I'm, doing my thing, focusing on, my job, my craft or whatever. But, it's employees around each other talking. So now the question's being thrown around the establishment, and they're asking different people, and people, men are saying, yeah, 100 million, 100 million. And then they ask one of the big guys at the establishment, one of the, bosses at the establishment, the main boss anyway, would he do it? He said, hell yeah, 100 million? Yeah, blah, blah, blah. The question came to me, and I was just like, at first, like, man, don't come at me with that. You feel me? Like, you know what I mean? I'm busy. Like, and then, he went around, he was talking about it. Another employee came in, they asked him, they asked me again. He was like, Les, would you do it? I was like, hell no. I was like, I'm a man. I gotta, like, what are you talking about? Like, money ain't everything. I got a son. I gotta look myself in the eyes. I gotta look my son in the eyes. I gotta look myself in the mirror, like, thinking about it. Like, yeah, I understand, what $100 million can do would change everything, but shit, it ain't that bad. You feel me? Life ain't, quote unquote regular life. I ain't, I was homeless before. I've been homeless. I was homeless at 5 years old, sleeping in train stations and bus stations with my mom, and you know what I mean? I've been through bad different types of traumas, so, I'm good. My kids are good. They live in the suburbs. They ain't gotta, hear gunshots at night or worry about, stolen cars. I remember, shoot, I used to love the fact that I could, take groceries upstairs and leave the trunk open. You know what I mean? I couldn't do that where I'm from. You didn't want to take that risk. Now I can go upstairs, start putting food up, forgot the trunk's open, go back downstairs. Ain't nobody touch nothing or do anything because I live in a certain area now. That's where I got my kids at. So, in my mind, it's like, yeah, I understand what, that amount of money can do for yourself and your family and everybody around you, but for what price? And I stuck to my guns, and I was like, no, I wouldn't do that. And the other coworker they asked, he, after talking, after me explaining that to him, he was like, yeah, I wouldn't do it either. And later on, in the boss's office, and the boss's wife was there, and they asked him again, like, he's like, yo, it's like, Les, you wouldn't do it for 100 million? And the boss's wife looked at me like, and I'm like, no, I wouldn't do it. Like, I'm a man. I'm a father. Like that shit's disgusting, bro. I'm straight. And don't get me wrong, I'm a black man. Like, some of my closest family members are, homosexual. Like, I have family members that I love to death that are homosexual. One of my best friends that, I met, at one of my early jobs. One of my great friends in life is a homosexual. He's my boy. I have no problem with that. It's just me. Like, I can't cross myself saying that, knowing that everything that God has done for me. That's another thing too. Like, I've surrendered my life to God. So how can I cross Him and cross my faith you know, and my love for God for money. And it's not even about the money. It was just the principle of the question. Like, no, I wouldn't do that. You know what I mean? Because I would just be too scared of all the ramifications. You know? Having to look myself in the mirror every day, knowing what I did, knowing I did something that I didn't want to do. Now, if you want to do that, that's all good. More power to you. Get that money if you're into that. If you're okay with that, cool. I'm just not okay with that. You know what I mean? And that just goes to a principle of sticking to your guns. Because even though the whole establishment, the whole job, and even, you know, the boss of said job, who's already a very successful man in his own right, said that, you know, it's like that peer pressure thing. But hey, it's been plenty of times that I've always been like that too. Like, if I believe what I believe, I believe what I believe. I don't care how many other people believe it. And that's the type of attitude you need to have, because that's an abundant mindset. An abundant mindset says, I'm going to believe what I believe, have the standards that I have, and if you're not okay with that, then I don't have to deal with you. Or I don't have to agree with you. Or I don't have to nothing with you. Why? I'm good. I'm already good over here. I'm whole. So if I'm already whole, then I don't have to spite myself and spite my soul to gain more, because I'm already whole. If God wants me to have $100 million, he'll give it to me the right way. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's just something that at the time it seemed very small, just, you know, crazy banter in the workplace, to something that I've held on to for a long time now, because it really proves a point to myself of what man I really am, and what soul I really am. And, you know, you have to have that belief in yourself and respect for yourself and love for yourself to say no. You know what I mean? Think about the power of saying no. We always talk about yes, 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 but what about the power of saying no? You tell your kids not to do certain things because they can harm them. You're telling them no. You see a baby playing with a electrical socket, you know. You tell them no, don't do that. Why? Because they can get electrocuted. They can hurt themselves. It's the same way with yourself. You got to tell yourself no sometimes. No, I would not do that craziness. No, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go that far. No. And that's to what? To save you, to protect you. So don't ever feel bad about sticking to your guns and holding your standards and your principles high within yourself, and standing in front of them, no matter how many people are against you. I don't care. This is my life, not yours. I gotta look myself in the mirror. I gotta sleep with myself. I gotta talk to myself. I gotta love myself. I gotta respect myself. I gotta believe in myself. I gotta teach my son how to be a real man. And that's it. So, I love y'all. Hope this video, you know what I mean, just shed some light for you. That's all it's about. Like I always say in my videos, if I'm able to help one person, it was all worth it. God bless.